Hi guys! Welcome back to our channel, and ang topic natin ngayon is about sa mana. So this is our part 2. So nung una, tinalakay natin kung paano gumawa ng testamentary will. Tumako naman tayo ngayon sa hatian ng properties. Sasagutin natin dito kung sino nga ba ang tunay na tagapagmana, sino yung may mga karapatan, at ang karapatan na ito ay hindi pwedeng mabawasan or ma-alter. Magkano ang share ng bawat isa? So, meron tayong tinatawag na legitim. Ito yung part ng property which the testator cannot dispose because the law has reserved it for certain heirs who are therefore called the compulsory heirs. Out of those properties, pera at kayamanan na naiwan ng testator, may certain portion doon na inilaan ang batas na hindi dapat magalaw at mapunta doon sa mga compulsory heirs. According sa batas, ang una-unang compulsory heir, syempre yung mga legitimate children. Kapag walang legitimate children, yung testator or yung decedent, ang compulsory na tagapagmana is yung legitimate na magulang. Siyempre, yung surviving spouse or the widow or the widower and yung mga illegitimate children. Legitimate parents may be excluded by legitimate children of the decedent. Ito namang widow or widower and illegitimate children will not exclude yung dalawang nasa taas. Ibig sabihin, yung widow or widower tsaka illegitimate children, they could inherit concurrently either yung legitimate child or children or either yung legitimate parents nung decedent. So guys, sasagutin natin yung mga tanong and kung paano yung hatian. Tapusin po natin yung video na to. Let's go! Nabanggit natin kanina na ang legitimate parents may inherit from their legitimate children. Sa anong sitwasyon nga ba nangyayari ito? Basahin natin kung ano yung sinasabi ng Article 887 ng New Civil Code. In default of legitimate children and descendants, the legitimate parents and ascendants become the compulsory heir. Kapag walang legitimate child or legitimate children yung ating decedent, then automatically, ang magiging compulsory heir at magiging tagapagmana, legitimate parents. Kasama ba dito yung illegitimate parents? Hindi. Makikita natin dito na kahit yung illegitimate children, hindi nila pwedeng i-exclude yung legitimate parents ng decedent. Only the legitimate children can exclude yung legitimate ascendants or parents. Paano naman kung may adopted child yung decedent? Diba sabi natin, kapag adopted yung child, he may have the same rights as the legitimate children. According sa law natin, unfair naman daw kung yung adopted child, i-exclude niya yung magulang ng decedent. According sa Child and Youth Welfare Code, if the adopter is survived by legitimate parents and an adopted child, the latter, so yung adopted child, shall not have more successional rights than an illegitimate child. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? Kapag namatay yung nag-adopt and legally adopted lang yung survivor and parents nung adopter, ang sabi ng batas, ang hati niya is just the share of an illegitimate child. Kapag may legitimate parents na nag-survive, for example, ang mga nag-survive are the parents of the decedent, illegitimate or an adopted child of the decedent, and yung surviving spouse. So, ang parents automatically ni-reserve ng batas na 1/2 of the properties or the estate will go to the legitimate parents. Hindi ito pwedeng bawasan. That's already given by law. Yung mga illegitimate or adopted child naman will have 1/4 of said properties. And yung surviving spouse ay magkakaroon ng either 1/8 or 1/4 depending sa klase ng paghahati. It's either testamentary or intestate succession. Kapag yung decedent ay nag-iwan ng kanyang will at may mga ibang pinamanahan ito, then the spouse or the surviving spouse will have 1/8 portion of the estate. And yung remaining 1/8, yun yung mapupunta dun sa mga ibang pinamanahan ng testator na hindi kasama sa compulsory heirs. So, for example, 1 million yung remaining properties, yung 500,000 mapupunta sa parents, and yung illegitimate or adopted child will have 1/4, which is 250,000. Yung spouse naman, kapag may iniwang testamentary will yung decedent, automatic ang makukuha ng surviving spouse is 1/8. And the remaining 1/8, which is 125,000, ito lang yung mapupunta doon sa mga ibang tagapagmana na naisulat doon sa will and testament. Pero kung walang iniwan na testamentary will, then automatic 1/4 yung remaining na mapupunta sa surviving spouse. Paano naman kung may legitimate children yung decedent? So, automatic kapag may legitimate children, hindi na magmamana ang legitimate parents. So, they are excluded. Pero, yung surviving spouse and illegitimate children may still inherit kasama nung legitimate children. So, ano nga ba or magkano nga ba ang mana ng legitimate at illegitimate children? According sa Article 888 ng New Civil Code, the legitim of the legitimate children and descendants consists of 1/2 of the hereditary estate of the father or mother. So, kanina, nung walang legitimate children and yung parents lang yung magmamana, they have 1/2 of the property. But since may legitimate children na dito, na-exclude na yung legitimate parents, then sa kanila mapupunta automatically yung kalahati ng lahat ng properties na naiwan. So, yung naiwang kalahati, yun yung pwedeng i-dispose ng testator kapag gumagawa siya ng will and testament. But this free portion ay subject siya sa rights ng illegitimate children and of the surviving spouse. So, kung nakuha na ng spouse and yung illegitimate children yung kanilang share, yung remaining portion dun sa kalahati, yun lang yung mga pwedeng ipamana sa iba. Or paghahati-hatian ng kung sino mang nailagay dun sa testamentary will. So, ang share ng isang illegitimate child is kalahati ng share ng isang legitimate child. So, for example, yung legitimate child or legitimate children has 1/2, then automatically, yung illegitimate children will have 1/2 of their share. So, kung isa lang yung legitimate child na naiwan, automatic 1/4 yung mapupunta sa illegitimate child or children. What if dalawa yung illegitimate children? then automatic, maghahati sila dun sa 1/4. So, kung ilan yung 1/4 or yung half ng share ng legitimate children, yun ang paghahati-hatian ng lahat ng illegitimate children. And yung surviving spouse naman will have the same share with that of the legitimate child or 1/4. So, there are different ways ng paghahati-hati ng estate ng decedent, but this is the general rule. And we just presented kung sino yung mga compulsory heirs ng decedent or compulsory na tagapagmana na itinalaga ng batas. So, ayun guys, I hope may natutunan ulit kayo and maraming salamat. God bless everyone.